All right, I just wanted to go over some practice problems for solving proportions. All right, so a class survey showed that 8 out of 25 students had plans to travel over spring break. How many students out of the 400 students in the entire school would you expect to be traveling over spring break? So I know that 8 out of 25 are going to travel. So I know 8 out of 25 are going to travel. So 8 are traveling and 25 is my total. So I'm going to make sure I set up my next ratio the exact same way. All right. How many students out of the 400 students in the entire school would you expect to be traveling over spring break? Well, this 400 students, I got to figure out, is that the number traveling or the total? So 400 students in the entire school. Well, that would be the total. So my 400 is going to go on the bottom. And I'm trying to find how many are traveling. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply. I call this the half butterfly. You're going to multiply the numbers together that you've circled. So 400 times 8, 0, 0, 32. That's 3,200. And then you're going to divide by the number you did not circle. So let's divide by 25. Okay, so 400 times 8, and then we're going to divide by 25. Okay, so multiply the numbers that you circled, and then get your answer, and then divide by the one you didn't. So 25 won't go into 3 or 32, but it will go into 320. How many times without going over? Well, let's see. 25 will go into 32. Minus 25 is 7. Bring down my 0. 25 will go into 70 2 times. So minus 50 is 20. Bring down my 0. And 25 will go into 200 8 times. And 25 times 8 is 200. So X equals 128 students. And that's the amount of students that would be traveling. Number 2. The world's fastest insect is the dragonfly, which can fly up to 36 miles per hour. So miles per hour. That's our word ratio. At this rate, how long would it take a dragonfly to travel 54 miles? So 36 miles goes on top, per hour, that's 1 hour, okay, equals, how long would it take the dragonfly to travel 54 miles? Well, 54 miles goes on top, and I'm trying to figure out how long it would take, so how many hours. So again, we're going to do our half butterfly. 1 times 54 is 54. And then I'm going to take my answer and I'm going to divide it by the number I did not circle. So 54 divided by 36. 36 will go into 54 one time. Minus 36. Leaves me with 18. Bring down my 0. 36 will go into 180. I don't know how many times off the top of my head, so I'm just going to pick something. Times 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 3 is 18. So there we go, perfectly. So how long would it take the dragonfly to travel 54 miles? 1.5 hours. Okay. If 15 pies will serve 120 people, how many pies are needed for 152 people? So I've got 15 pies, all right, and 120 people. So we're going to do pies over people. So 15 pies, 15 goes on top, 120 people, people's on bottom. Okay. How many pies are needed for 152 people? So 152 people, people's on the bottom. And we're trying to find how many pies. Okay? All right, so we're going to half butterfly. Multiply the numbers together that you circled. So 152 times 15. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26. And 5 times 1 plus 2 is 7. Add your 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 1 is 1. Add down. You get 2,280. Now I'm going to take this number and I'm going to divide by the number I did not circle. So 2,280 divided by 120. Well, 120 won't go into 2 or 22, but it'll go into 228 one time without going over. I get a remainder of 108. Bring down my 0. 120 will go into 1,080 how many times without going over? I don't know, so I'm just going to pick a number to multiply by. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 2 is 10, and 5 times 1 plus 1 is 6. 600 is way too small. So 120 times, let's try 8. 0. 8 times 2 is 16. And then 960, that's still too small. Let's try times 9. 18, there we go. 120 times 9 is 1,080. So how many pies are needed for 152 people? 19 pies. Last one. Leonardo recorded his speed while skateboarding and determined he was traveling 18 feet per second. How many feet could he travel in 1 minute? Okay, so I'm going to have to do two things here. 18 feet per second. So I'm going to do feet per second. I'm going to set that proportion up first. So he can go 18 feet in 1 second. All right. So I want to know how many feet he could travel in 1 minute. But how many seconds? How many seconds are in 1 minute? 60. There's 60 seconds in 1 minute. So I know that 60 seconds, that's how many feet. All right? So 60 seconds in 1 minute. So cross multiply. 60 times 18, 0, 48, 0 and 6, add down. That's 1,080, and then divide by the number you did not circle, which is 1, and anything divided by 1 is still itself. So X is 1,080 feet. Be careful because of what they were asking you. How many feet could he travel in 1 minute? We set up feet per second, so I need to know how many seconds are in 1 minute in order to put the correct number down here, okay? Because I have seconds on the bottom. So how many seconds are in 1 minute? 60. So 60 seconds is the same as 1 minute. All right, so those are just some examples on how to solve proportions.